Hey guys, welcome back for another couple chapters from Sideways Stories from Wayside School. We are going to start reading with Paul. Paul had the best seat in Miss Jewel's class. He sat in the back of the room. It was the seat that was furthest away from Miss Jewel's. Miss Jewels was teaching the class about fractions. She drew a picture of a pie on the blackboard. She cut the pie into 8 pieces. She explained that each piece was 1/8 of a pie. Paul never paid attention. He didn't see the picture of the pie. He didn't see anything. Well, he did see one thing. Actually, he saw 2 things. He saw Leslie's pigtails. Leslie sat in front of Paul. She had 2 long brown pigtails that reached all the way down to her waist. Paul saw those pigtails and had a terrible urge come over him. He wanted to pull a pigtail. He wanted to wrap his fist around it, feel the brown hair between his fingers, and yank it. He thought it would also be fun to tie the pigtails together, or better yet, tie them to her chair. But most of all, he just wanted to pull one. Slowly, he reached for one, the one on the right. No, what am I doing, he thought. I'll only get in trouble. Paul had it made. He sat in the back of the room. He paid no attention to anyone, and no one paid any attention to him. But if he pulled a pigtail, it would all be over. Leslie would tell on him, and he would become the center of attention. He sighed and slowly withdrew his arm. But Paul couldn't ignore those pigtails. There they were, just dangling right in front of him. He begged, just begging to be pulled. He could close his eyes, but he couldn't make those pigtails disappear. He could still smell them and hear them, and he could almost taste them. Maybe just a little tug, he thought. No, none. There they hung, easily within his reach. I'll just let them hang there, thought Paul. It would be foolish to pull one, no matter how tempting they were. No, none of the other children in class pulled pigtails, so why should he? Of course, none of the other children sat behind Leslie. But it was just a simple matter of not being able to think clearly. That was all. Paul thought it over and decided not to pull one. It was just as simple as that. Suddenly, his arm shot forward. He grabbed Leslie's right pigtail and yanked. Yahoo! Screamed Leslie. Everybody looked at her. Paul pulled my pigtail, she said. They all looked at Paul. I couldn't help it, said Paul. You'd better learn to help it, said Miss Jewels. She wrote Paul's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. Tell Leslie you're sorry. I'm sorry, Leslie, said Paul. Said Leslie. Paul felt horrible. Never again would he pull another pigtail, except there was one problem. He still wasn't satisfied. He had pulled the right one, but that wasn't enough. He wanted to pull the left one too. It was as if he heard a little voice coming from the pigtail saying, "Pull me, pull me, pull me." I can't, answered Paul. My name is already on the blackboard under the word discipline. Big deal, said one of the pigtails. Pull me. No way, said Paul. Never again. Aw, come on, Paul. Just a little tug, urged the pigtail. What harm could it do? Well, lots of harm, said Paul. Leslie will scream and I'll get in trouble again. Boy, that isn't fair, whined the pigtail. You pulled the right one. Now it's my turn. I know, but I just can't, said Paul. Well, sure you can, said the pigtail. Just grab me and yank. No, said Paul. It's not right. Sure it is, Paul, said the pigtail. Pigtails are meant to be pulled. That's what we're here for. Tell that to Leslie, said Paul. Leslie won't mind, said the pigtail. I promise. I bet, said Paul, just like she didn't mind the last time. You just didn't pull it hard enough, said the pigtail. Leslie likes it pulled real hard. Really? Asked Paul. Cross my heart, said the pigtail. The harder, the better. Okay, said Paul, if you're lying, though. Well, I promise, said the pigtail. Paul grabbed the left pigtail. It felt good in his hand. He pulled it as hard as he could. Yow! Screamed Leslie. Miss Jules asked Paul, did you pull Leslie's pigtail again? No, said Paul. I pulled the other one. Are you trying to be funny? Asked Miss Jules. Well, no, said Paul. I was trying to be fair. I couldn't pull one and not the other. The children laughed again. Pigtails are meant to be pulled, you know, Paul concluded. Miss Jules put a check next to Paul's name on the blackboard under the word discipline, but at last Paul was satisfied. True, his name was on the blackboard with a check next to it, but it really didn't matter. All he had to do was stay out of trouble the rest of the day and his name would be erased. It's easy to stay out of trouble when you have the best seat in class. In fact, Paul could do it every day. He could pull Leslie's pigtails twice and then stay out of trouble for the rest of the day, and there was nothing Leslie could do about it. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Leslie screamed, "Yow!" Miss Jules circled Paul's name and sent him home early on the kindergarten bus. Nobody would have believed him that he hadn't pulled Leslie's pigtail again. Chapter 11, Dana. Dana had 4 beautiful eyes. She wore glasses, but her eyes were so beautiful that the glasses only made her prettier. With 2 eyes, she was pretty, but with 4 eyes, she was beautiful. With 6 eyes, she would have been even more beautiful. And if she had 100 eyes all over her face and her arms and her feet, why, she would have been the most beautiful creature in the world. But poor Dana wasn't covered from head to foot with beautiful eyes. She was covered with mosquito bites. Miss Jules picked up her yardstick and said, "Now it's time for arithmetic." "Oh, no, Miss Jules," said Dana. "I can't do arithmetic. I itch all over. I can't concentrate." "But we have all kinds of arithmetic," said Miss Jules. "Addition without carrying, addition with carrying, carrying without addition." "I don't care," cried Dana. "Oh, well, we have that too," said Miss Jules. "Addition without carrying." "Now stop carrying on." Dana whined. "I can't, Miss Jules. I just itch too much, and I'm too thirsty," said DJ. "And I'm too tired," said Ron. "And I'm too hungry," said Terrence. "And I'm too stupid," said Todd. Miss Jules hit her desk with her yardstick. "Everyone stop talking," Miss Jules said. "We are going to have arithmetic now, and I don't want to hear anything about it." "But Miss Jules, I really do itch. I can't do arithmetic," Dana whined. "No," said Miss Jules. "Arithmetic is the best known cure for an itch. How many mosquito bites do you have?" "Well, I don't know," said Dana. "Over 100. First I try to scratch one, then another one starts to itch, so I scratch that one, and then that one stops, and then another one starts, and so I scratch that one, and it moves down to another one, and it goes back to the first one. The itch just never stays in the same place, and I can't scratch them all. What you need is a good dose of strong arithmetic," said Miss Jules. "Remember, I'd rather have chamomile lotion," said Dana. "Remember, Dana," said Miss Jules, "mosquito bites itch, not numbers." "Well, so what?" said Dana. Miss Jules continued, "We'll just have to turn your mosquito bites into numbers." "I'm a mess," Dana moaned. Miss Jules began to turn mosquito bites into numbers. How much is 3 mosquito bites plus 3 mosquito bites? She asked. Rondi raised her hand. Six mosquito bites, she answered. How much mosquito bites is 6 mosquito bites minus 2 mosquito bites? Asked Miss Jules. 4 mosquito bites, said DJ. How much is 5 mosquito bites times 2? Asked Miss Jules. 10 mosquito bites, said BB. Oh, very good, said Miss Jules. I still itch, complained Dana. I've got one more question, said Miss Jules. How much is 49 mosquito bites plus 75 mosquito bites? Nobody raised their hand. Think, class, said Miss Jules. This one is for Dana. Nobody knew the answer. Dana's itch began to get worse and worse. At last, Dana began counting her own mosquito bites. She counted 75 on the one side and 49 on the other. Then she added them together for a grand total of 124 mosquito bites. 124 mosquito bites, Dana called out. Oh, very good, said Miss Jules. Dana had 24 mosquito bites, and none of them itched anymore. I'm still thirsty, said DJ. Can arithmetic do anything for that? I'm still tired, said Ron, and I'm still hungry, said Terrence. And, well, I'm still stupid, said Todd. Well, I'm glad we turned my mosquito bites into numbers instead of letters, said Dana. I could never spell mosquito.